roles en este encuentro, por el que interviene ahora mismo, sobre todo es como presidente de I JIC, es decir, de alguna forma es mi jefe, en el sentido que es la asociación que congrega a los distintos JIC de ámbito europeo y dos países exóticos como Sudáfrica y Marruecos, recientemente incorporados. Harald es, aparte de este cargo de presidente de I JIC, es director de investigación y director técnico del remp, que es el JIC suizo. Él es máster por la Universidad de Zurich y es conferenciante habitual sobre temas de investigación aplicada de medios en las universidades de Zurich y Hohenheim, en Alemania. Como he dicho antes, aparte de esto, Harald es presidente de I JIC, la asociación de JIC, y miembro del Consejo de la Asociación Suiza de Estudios de Comunicación. Harald, cuando quieras. Gracias. No, ya es...
Gracias, Carlos, for this invitation and presentation. Buenos días, señores y señoras. I was honored when AIMC invited me to come here to speak to you today in my capacity as the chairman of I JIC. And I JIC stands for the International Association of Joint Industry Committees for Media Research. In this presentation, I would like to share with you some thoughts about audience measurement of online and mobile channels and the role of joint industry committees. Ladies and gentlemen, let's face it, there's a tendency that traffic, audience and ad measurements in the digital world come from either global commercial research companies like Comscore or Nielsen, or global services like Google, or thirdly, from global and national telecommunication service providers. Normally, global players have one thing in common. They use standard systems. This approach has two consequences. There is a tendency that these global standards do not pay enough attention to national particularities and needs. And secondly, the systems are proprietary. This implies that the owners of the measurement systems provide only restricted transparency to customers and users. But in the field of online and mobile audience measurement, transparency is even more important because the measurement systems are very complex and IT-driven. In order to cope with all the different fast-changing digital media on offer. And one must not forget that electronic measurements are also based on a lot of definition and conventions. Regarding these proprietary measurement systems, advertisers and agencies do have a structural deficit of insights and knowledge. They basically have to believe that the systems produce balanced and valid results. If a third element is added, then things even get worse. Think of companies like Google. Google sells ad space on its platforms. I refer to AdWords, for example. And then the performance of these ads is measured by Google again. I refer to Google Analytics. It goes without saying that these in-house measurements serve as the basis for the billing. To be clear, in this example, one of the key players of the ad market acts as a player by selling ads and as a referee by measuring them at the same time. In fact, ladies and gentlemen, this approach is in conflict with our proven European concept of separation of powers. For advertisers, these disadvantages are crystal clear. For this reason, they wrote in their position paper what advertisers want from online audience measurement, and I quote, "Advertisers believe that the best way to initiate, to manage and shape media research and audience measurement is through joint industry committees, comprising media owners, agencies and advertiser representation." The World Federation of Advertisers and the European Association of Communication Agencies point out, I quote again, that joint industry committees ensure all users some control of the technical specifications and operation and equality of data access, whilst minimizing and controlling costs. And this is how it has been done in most European big advertising intensive markets like Germany, France, Great Britain and Spain. The measurement of media audiences which serve the market as a currency have been, with good reason, entrusted to joint industry committees like AIMC here in Spain. Joint industry committees have advantages because they are not profit-orientated and neutral. They are fully involved in research design, realization and auditing of research. And thus, JICs guarantee high-quality standards with normally a good price-performance ratio. In joint industry committees, all key players of the advertising market, that means advertisers, agencies, media owners, are represented. Thus, there is a structure in place which guarantees that all parties have transparency in the way the audience data are produced and all parties have access to the data. Advertisers, agencies and media or service owners act on a more balanced basis for the sake of the online and mobile advertising market. However, the institutions of national joint industry committees are under pressure, particularly in the field of online and mobile measurement. Big commercial players like Google, with huge intellectual and financial resources, offer usage data for free. But providing free services, ladies and gentlemen, is not always an act of altruism. By giving something for free, potential competitors or other institutions like joint industry committees, which are not able to give away their services, their data for free, are hampered from successfully entering this field of audience measurement. In the long run, there's a danger that monopoly-like structures are created, and in the long run, the advertisers and agency will have to pay a high price for the data that was once free. In order to countersteer this development, to strengthen the joint industry committees, and to enrich their mainly national orientation with an international perspective, IJIC, the International Association of Joint Industry Committees for Media Research, was founded in the year 2000. By the way, IMC was amongst the 8 JIC organizations which founded IJIC then in the year 2000. Today, IJIC has 16 member organizations from 13 countries. This means that countries which have several joint industry committees can be represented by more than one JIC organization within IJIC. In the current stage, we focus on European joint industry committees. For you, it may be interesting that your neighbor countries, France and Morocco, are also represented in IJIC. IJIC has 2 fields of activities. Inbound ones for our members and outbound activities for third parties. We offer support to our member organizations. We want to help them to further advance the quality and transparency of their research or audit. We want to proliferate knowledge and best practice amongst our member organizations by stimulating and facilitating mutual exchange of experiences and expertise. On the other hand, there are still a lot of national markets without joint industry committees for audience measurement. On the other hand, in markets with JIC organization, there is the danger that their importance and role slowly fall off the radar. In this context, I JIC tries to promote the idea, the advantages, the creation and development of joint industry committees worldwide. But now, ladies and gentlemen, come back to the measurement of online and mobile audiences. The fact that a lot of our member organizations are active in the field of online and mobile audience measurement, and some of them even provide the currency to their national market, proves that there is an alternative to closed and proprietary systems also in the field of online and mobile audience research. Maybe there are national markets with good arguments that official audience measurement of digital channels should be done by research companies or service providers. In this context, however, the market should insist that joint industry committees are involved as external auditors of these proprietary research systems. France is a very good example of this approach. In France, all the currency measurements must be audited by CUSB, the French Joint Industry Committee. Audience measurement through JICs could also result in a cooperation between joint industry committees and other players like service providers and commercial research companies. To sum up, ladies and gentlemen, tripartite and transparent research approaches are even more necessary in the field of audience and ad measurement of digital channels. And yes, it's possible to organize this kind of research within joint industry committees. Muchas gracias.